Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior.
We're talking to so many voters that know it is time for change.
It's not about trying to defend democracy in Haiti. My mission statement is my children.
The defense of Western values.
Getting married, building families, leaving a legacy, doing big and great things.
What did Charlie mean to you?
He was just such a good messenger, and all the things that he just believed in and would like preach, and just such a good person.
Charlie meant God, family, political rest. I wanted to come put like balloons or flowers, pay my respects.
Like, I'm just so heartbroken. I bet. Because somebody says something you don't like doesn't mean you get to kill people. He didn't deserve it.
If I thought it would kind of be similar to Trump, that he was going to make it through, it would be something bigger after the fact. Then I saw the news break.
Conservative commentator Charlie Kirk has been shot and killed.
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith.
I would see his videos, and whether I agreed or disagreed, I knew that he was doing his best to serve the country, serve his family, and serve the Lord above.
For me, he was the person that like showed me like it's okay to speak up like about your faith and your beliefs.
On eternal truths, fight for the country, fight for our civilization.
But we spent so little time on the brilliance of the founders and what they've created, and the greatest political document in human history and what went into that.
You, especially as men, but women as well, you are obligated to do difficult and hard things. The West was built, our nation was built on delayed gratification, not instant gratification.
Yeah guys, it took me a while to formulate my response to the Charlie Kirk assassination, because in the beginning I was simply too angry, way too angry to say anything useful. And it wasn't just because a fellow free thinker was brutally murdered in front of his kids for no other reason that when he spoke, millions of people listened, especially millions of young people, and they were getting actively engaged in politics.
He was just such a big advocate for my generation and future generations.
He was really passionate about having a conservative viewpoint on college campuses, which is, unfortunately something we don't see across America.
It means the world to all of us who share the same beliefs and want the same things for America that he does, because he's not afraid, or he wasn't afraid to share those beliefs and to just go out and speak his mind no matter what.
I mean, Charlie really managed to get them to care, and for many of them, he was the reason that they started paying attention to the laws that elected officials were passing or blocking. Now, I'm not going to mention names or spend time highlighting the degenerates that were celebrating this horrendous event. Others, like Olivia, are already doing an excellent job at that, and with great success. Now, obviously, this brings up the debate of right-wing versus left-wing cancel culture.
Right now across the country, we're now seeing many people lose their jobs after posting comments about Charlie Kirk's death.
But mind you, freedom of speech does not allow you to call for the murder of an individual, nor does it allow you to greenlight hits on others like him, and that's exactly what I've been seeing all over social media. These people weren't just celebrating, they were justifying the murder and advocating for more bloodshed. And so putting an end to that is absolutely justified. There's no comparison between stating a biological fact and then losing your job over that versus advocating for bloodshed simply because you don't like someone's stance on immigration. And so yes, the murder of Charlie Kirk for simply discussing ideas was enough to make you angry and want to exact revenge. But what really got my blood boiling was the blasé reaction from elected officials from all around the world, who acted as if Charlie somehow deserved to be killed for his speech, or that somehow he brought this upon himself. Which yet again proves one thing very clearly, which is that all of these people who are preaching about democracy and that we must stand with Ukraine to defend democracy from the big evil Russia don't actually give a damn about democracy. They really don't. All they care about is to remain in power and censor any opposing views. They love putting all of these little flags in their bios and worship Zelensky like some false god, all under the guise of pretending to care about the Ukrainian people. But when Iryna Zarutska, a Ukrainian woman, got slaughtered on public transport in North Carolina while simply minding her own business, not knowing that a 14-time career criminal was sitting right behind her and that she was just seconds away from death, not only were they all silent, but they were actively trying to ensure that nobody talked about it.
The stabbing murder of the 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee Iryna Zarutska, a young white lady who was stabbed to death by a black criminal. Now, you might have not seen this footage yet. This is becoming national news, and the left is doing everything they possibly can not to talk about it. The media is very uncomfortable about this story.
Charlie didn't care about her murder because she was Ukrainian. No, he cared about her because she was on American soil, and he cared because Americans should not have to fear death every time they take public transport.
Situations like this are a nearly daily occurrence in our cities, and I'm coming back from two nations, Japan and South Korea. We do not have to live this way. You can create a society and a culture where you can get on a train or a subway and not be Iryna Zarutska and get stabbed to death in the neck.
Living amongst absolute savages is a choice. It is completely and utterly unacceptable and preventable. But in order to eradicate this problem, you have to take the first step, and that is you have to be willing to have an honest conversation about what's really going on. And he was not afraid to take this very important conversation into the lion's den, where he knew that the majority of people not only disagreed with him, but actually hated him with a burning passion. This is what Charlie Kirk excelled at.
You create a company that's like close to being a fascist, and then like...
Okay. How am I... Sorry. Let's go through this. How am I a fascist?
Dude, like you...
Can you name one thing I believe that's fascist?
You believe that, like... You on...
Well, hold on. So, but no, since we're doing pop quiz on like human development, so when exactly do heart waves begin in utero?
You know that, but you don't know the force.
Hold on, no, so tell me when heartbeat.
I don't know.
Okay, you don't know.
No.
So wait, hold on. So you're trying to say I know more about the woman reproductive system than you do?
I am a woman.
Potential white supremacist. So.
What evidence do you have that I'm a racist?
You were trying to explain how white privilege doesn't exist.
Correct, it doesn't. Concretely, in America today, what can a white person do that a black person can't do?
Black applicants to jobs are 50% less likely to get jobs whether they have a black-sounding name.
That's not even close to being true.
I'm not going to argue your lived experience.
See, now you have to listen to him under your rules because a black person is going to say you're wrong.
He can say I'm wrong.
Charlie had more guts than any politician in Washington by actually taking on the hardest questions and debating the people in the heart of the propaganda ecosystem, which these days are unfortunately universities and colleges all around the Western world. When I was studying at university, the goal was always intense debate and criticism. I was taught that the essence of science was to constantly critique new theories, and that if a theory actually stood true, it would have no problems being critiqued and scrutinized over and over and over again. This basic concept is completely lost on the millions of students attending the most prestigious universities in America today, and Charlie kept hammering this in, calling universities a scam. Because nowadays, students are not getting an education, they are simply being spoon-fed propaganda and indoctrination.
Okay.
Milton Friedman, do they teach Milton Friedman here?
No, but I'm aware of him.
Okay. Ludwig von Mises.
I'm aware of him, but no.
Murray Rothbard, hold on.
No.
F.A. Hayek.
No.
Frederick Bastiat.
No.
You're not getting economics education, you're getting an indoctrination.
Likely the vast majority of the students here know more than you about economics as a whole.
Okay, so, no, hold on, it's okay, guys, it's okay. Who's Milton Friedman?
Who's Milton Friedman? I have no idea, and it's not important to this conversation.
Okay, how about Murray Rothbard?
That's another economist.
F.A. Hayek?
I don't know who that is.
Well, then you just came here and insulted my intelligence.
This is where I fully agree with Charlie on the fact that universities are no longer bastions of knowledge where great thinkers are meeting to discuss the intricacies of the world. Now I'm gonna be honest here, there's also a whole bunch of topics that Charlie and I disagree on, but what I absolutely loved about him was that he was forcing young people to think for themselves. In addition to that, I also loved how he managed to get millions of young people involved into politics and show them the importance of voting and the importance of having debate with people you disagree with.
You right now should come out and be like, you know what? The young man who's about to win the state championship in the long jump in female sports, that shouldn't happen. You as the governor should step out and say no.
No, and I appreciate,
but like, would you do something like that? Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that.
Now one more point that I want to make is about the leadership of young men, and this right here is exactly what Charlie Kirk was great at. Because not only did Charlie manage to get young men to listen to him, but he actually got them to show up and vote. Charlie has personally contributed to one of the biggest swings in the political landscape amongst young men.
18 to 29-year-old men, we can put it up on screen, have swung 44 points. That's right, men ages 18 to 29 have become 44 points more conservative, more Republican over the last 2 years. I've been focused on this issue my entire life. My life's work has been realigning this.
And thus, because Charlie not only managed to achieve his dream, but far exceeded it, he became the most dangerous and most hated man in America by people who absolutely hate the country and hate real democracy. Because when you can reach millions of young men and you are not bought and paid for, meaning they have no way to control you, then they will do whatever it takes to destroy you, vilify you, and smear you 24/7 in the hopes that something bad happens.
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events.
This right here shows you just how insanely hard their minds are fried from the non-stop propaganda. Which brings me to my final words of how we proceed from here. Well, there's really only two options that we have. We can either revolt, go Old Testament, and take out one of them, but that's not what Charlie would have wanted, and more importantly, the more I thought about that option, I realized that when you choose to go down that path, it means that you're choosing to live in a world of complete anarchy and chaos. That's not what I want my kids to grow up in. I actually think that one of the biggest fuck yous that supporters of Charlie can give to anyone who celebrated his assassination is to sign up for Turning Point USA and campaign as hard as you can, not only for conservative values, but also for the 2028 election, to ensure that the MAGA movement continues to thrive and will have a consecutive presidency. This way, you can eradicate these insane policies that are destroying communities and are destroying the very essence of Western civilization. And by showing up, voting, and campaigning, you're doing it in the right way, truly honoring Charlie's memory. Because Charlie was never about violence. He had but one simple message.
Loving God, loving people, and raising children